Okay, Survivor fans, we've just seen one of the best episodes in the history of the show, I think. I'm Marcus James Dixon. I'm here with Susan Wloszczyna. And Susan, what's your big takeaway from the merge episode slash Extinction Island reveal episode?
It was great because there were a whole lot of surprises for them and us. So just watching their faces when come on back, and then they're like, "What?" It is great, and I think it added at this point in the game when they're just merging, usually it's sort of a low period because they're getting to know each other more and all that. Not this time. This was like, it just took off immediately with that challenge.
Do you think Jeff was overselling it just a little bit? This is one of the greatest twists ever. This will be remembered for all time.
That's his job, to make us feel like it's special every time we watch it.
Yeah.
So.
I did get emotional watching that.
Yeah, no, it was. But your girl, Wendy, I am sorry.
Not only did she lose the challenge, she also raised the mast to leave the game and sort of keep. I don't know how I feel about this. Wendy, what are you thinking?
She had enough. She did.
She was on Extinction Island for one night.
I know, but what I'm saying is she never felt completely dedicated to what you have to do to win. She was having fun. She wanted to chase chickens more than win challenges. So I'm sorry. And those chickens, they're still there. She abandoned her chickens. So There you go. They're going to be eaten. There's chicken salad in the future of Survivor. So.
Well, what about Rick? Rick was the one who won the chance to return. It was a very dramatic challenge. It was, at first, I think Aubrey was ahead, and then Wendy was ahead, and then Chris, poor Chris with that punishment with the knots.
Yeah, well, poor Chris. I'm not that worried about him. Poor Joe.
Poor Joe.
Yeah, he brought on his own demise. It was like a tragedy to me. Yes.
I have a feeling Joe's going to be just okay at Extinction Island. I think.
Oh, I mean, he will build a house on Extinction Island somehow, some way. No, they're going to all be glad he's there, but I don't know if he's going to have the same attitude, I'll do for you, thing that he does. But we'll see about that.
We'll talk about Joe's mistakes. Why was he voted out?
He didn't win individual immunity of the challenge. 2 girls beat him, but that's okay. And I think, he was painting as if he, was Van Gogh or something instead of kind of figuring out where he stood. And he should have known that a veteran would be near the top of their choice of people to kick out. And Wentworth, I don't know. It's funny. She sort of keeps hanging in there. And, they keep bringing her name up, but they don't actually go after her. I mean, David got almost as many, and he's been keeping the lowest profile of them. So I
thought Kelly was so stupid not using her idol. I
know.
Screaming.
There, she's, they always make eye things, when they were thinking about it, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do it."
And Lauren too. I mean, they both have idols. Good for them. They're smarter than me. They didn't use them, and they didn't need them.
Well, yeah, but it could have been very different. But that Victoria, our readers might be right. She could win because she's vicious and she's very perceptive of what is going on, and that's a scary combination. I don't know how good she is at challenges, but I think she has a way of focusing that other people don't, which I don't want to meet her ever, but it's fun watching her.
I said last week she's the new Parvati, and I think she could go pretty far.
Yeah.
She's not a physical threat, so she's not going to be someone that's voted out like Joe. And by the way, we talked about this last week. We said after the merge, the big guys are going to be voted out. We called Joe going home.
Yeah. And he did it himself. I mean, he just, wants to be the provider and all that stuff, but he doesn't take care of himself. And he thinks, I don't know, he's immortal. Well, he's not. He's on Extinction Island for a reason. So, but he was filled with, revenge thoughts, I think, as he was climbing into the boat with his new torch.
Yeah, I think his final words were, he left the door wide open.
They left the door wide open.
And he said, it's the worst thing I could have done.
Right.
I'm not worried about him though. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be just fine. I think we're going to see him come back.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Has he ever found an idol for himself? Because he always wins in individual immunity.
Right. And I don't remember. Yeah.
No. Well, from what I looked at historically speaking, it seemed, I don't think he ever has, because he got one season he got sick and he had low blood sugar or something, and then he had to get out. So
right.
we voted him out after that because he was useless. They didn't need him anymore.
What about, you brought up earlier, no one was searching for an idol. Why didn't Joe search for the idol? Why didn't anyone? It's possible they did and we just didn't see it, but
he never does.
Yeah, I don't know why he wouldn't.
He's not used to being that way. I don't know. I mean, you would think it with this crew, they would. I mean, people came back. They don't want people back. They want to send people away.
Yeah.
And that's not working this season very well. So. But he also just sat there and painted, and Victoria, our friend, she pointed that out. Like, what the hell is he painting?
Yeah. And when Ron came to him to say, hey buddy, who are we voting for? And Joe's like, oh, it changes on a dime. Like, that's not a good answer, Joe.
No.
You're a three-time player. That's all you can come up with.
Right. Yeah. So he was disappointing. Who wasn't? Well, that Rick, God bless him. He did that challenge I could never do. So, and then the Chris guy, he practiced, but he sucked at it.
Yeah, that's too bad. What about Rick and David sharing an idol, which I guess now that they both survived, now Rick gets the idol, the whole idol. It's no longer
how does that help David? Does he have to steal it from Rick? I
don't know. It was a little confusing.
It seemed fair to the other person, like, to hold on to it. Like,
I think he played it wrong. I think the idea was go to someone who's going to vote you out and say, look, if you keep me in the game, I'll give you this half idol, and then afterwards, you'll get the whole thing. I think he gave it to his buddy, which isn't. I don't think that's really the intention of what was supposed to happen.
But was that Ron? Ron, right?
It was Rick and David.
Rick and David.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that Ron guy has that. We're still waiting for him to play his menu choices or whatever.
I know. I wonder if they're ever going to mention that again. It's from episode 1. He found the menu, and he's supposed to use it within 3 tribals. This was his first tribal, so he has 2 more episodes.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It'll be really exciting, I'm sure. But
I can't believe that the Extinction Island people are now jury members all of a sudden. This is going to be the biggest jury.
So they get off the island once in a while to go to the tribal council. Can't be that far away.
Right. This will be the biggest jury in the history of Survivor. If everyone that gets voted out agrees to stay, this will be huge.
Yeah.
It's usually the jury's usually like 9 or 10, and this is going to be like 16, 15 people.
Right. Well, we'll see if there's another twist, but I doubt it. There's been so many twists, but so who's strong now?
You've got some of those guys that they don't show very much. Eric and Gavin.
Yeah.
They're physically strong, and then you have people like Julie who wins the challenge out of nowhere.
It was great.
That was great. Yeah, that was great. That was an emotional moment too. I was very emotional watching this episode.
Yeah.
But it was just so cool where she's like, I've tried 18 years to get on Survivor, and now I win the first challenge.
Oh, they all say that. Don't be too impressed. They do. They always say from the age, when I was 2 years old, I wanted to win a challenge.
Yeah, they do that on American Idol too. You know,
I
switching
know. It's like it makes you feel so old. But no, I mean, this was a really good episode because last week, you know, it was fun. You know, it was, you know, kind of like a all-you-can-eat buffet of, you know, survivorness. But this smaller version was even maybe a little better because the tension was stronger and it was unusual.
And speaking of buffet, you know, there was that feast, the merge feast, and there's always some kind of a not a twist, but
hidden, right?
Yeah, there's always, and there wasn't this time, and I wonder. It makes me wonder: was there something? There was something there, but nobody found it, so they didn't even bother filming it.
Well, and then that Rick guy. How do they just sneak it in their pouches? Like,
I don't know.
How do they do that? Who's paid to do that as a living?
I don't know.
Just tiptoe? Don't wake him up.
Because that's the second time that's happened. Because it happened with Aubrey. Oh, there's an extra vote in my pouch.
Yeah. I would be scared. Like, be a threat letter from another castaway. But no, it was a good, but I do. Joe just frustrated me because, you know, he was weeping last week. If you're crying, then do something, you know, just do something to save yourself. Don't put yourself in danger by, you know, disassociating with everyone and acting like you're painting a portrait of what, Jeff Probst or something on your flag.
I think he was drawing a phoenix. I think he said, you know,
Phoenix?
The tribe merge flag, the symbol was a phoenix because it represents, you know, life after death or something like that.
And it's Veta? What's the name of the tribe?
I don't remember.
They showed on the screen. It was like VETE or something. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what it is. They keep saying "Kama strong." It's not Boston. Yeah, it's a beach.
Well, okay. The trailer for next week. It looks like there's going to be a medical emergency. Those are always my favorite.
Okay, so let's guess who.
Okay, we know it's not Victoria because it cuts to her and she goes, you know, what happened? What happened?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna guess Lauren.
Lauren?
Yeah. Remember, she's sick.
Yeah, she hasn't been eating. She's been barfing, which is lovely. Glad they don't show those things. But she was strong and pretty strong in the challenge, though.
Yeah, she made it to second place.
Yeah.
Well, who do you think it is?
I would like to think it would be David because he looks very thin these days. And he doesn't do anything except he's a nice guy, but you don't win Survivor being nice. So
cool. I guess we'll find out next week. Do you have any final thoughts?
No, I mean, I still like David versus Goliath better, but because I like that crew better. They just seem more, you know, this is a disjointed family more than kind of everybody sort of respected each other, sort of, and except for Natalie and her jacket obsession and but no, these people are more cutthroat, especially that Victoria. I would like someone to take her down. She's gonna pay at some point.
And Ron is pretty cutthroat. We saw some of his facial expressions at Tribal was just so arrogant. It was just fantastic.
Yeah, it was
cool. Well, thanks everyone for watching. We will see you next week for the next episode of Survivor.